Welcome to the 2020 New Testament Challenge. Today we're in Mark chapter 15. We're almost done with the book of Mark. And again, we're reading one chapter a day, Monday through Friday, taking Saturday and Sunday off. And as we do, we'll have read the entire New Testament this year. Well, again, here in Mark chapter 15, we find Jesus before Pilate. Pilate is questioning Jesus. He finds nothing wrong in him. He brings him out to the crowd and says, "What should I do with Jesus?" And they all cry, "Crucify him, crucify him." He has Jesus flogged, handed over to the soldiers. The soldiers beat him and mock him, and then they take him to be crucified. While Jesus was on the cross, he took all of our sin upon himself. And he cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" At that very moment, all the sin of mankind, my sin and your sin, was heaped upon Jesus, and he was paying the penalty for our sin. Sin separates us, and he was separated from his Father at that moment. But he was willing to do that so that we could be forgiven. When Jesus died there on the cross, it says that the curtain was torn in two from top to bottom. In verse 38, there was a curtain that was in the temple, and that curtain kept people from getting to the Holy of Holies. You had to go through the high priest, and the high priest could go before God once a year. When Jesus died on the cross, that curtain was torn in two. Now, it was not torn at the bottom as if men were ripping it apart. No, God himself tore that curtain in two from the top down. Now there is no separation. We can come into God's presence. There is no more separation. I love what the writer of Hebrews said in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 6. "Let us then approach the throne of grace with confidence so that we might receive mercy and grace in our time of need." We're able to do that because Jesus took our place. And then in Hebrews chapter 10, verses 19 and following, the writer says, "Because we can now come into the most holy place because of the blood of Jesus, we can now come and draw near to God. Therefore, let us draw near to God with a sincere heart. Let us hold fast to the hope that we profess. Let us consider how we might spur one another on. And let us not give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing. Because there is now no separation, no curtain, we can draw near to God. We can hold on to that hope that we profess, spur one another on, and we should encourage each other to meet together and not give that up." There was a question that Billy Graham was once asked. Do you have to go to church to be a Christian? I love what he said. You can be a Christian without going to church, and you can be married without going home, but I wouldn't recommend either one. God has opened the way for us to come into his presence. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Draw near to God with a sincere heart. Hold on to that hope that we profess. Spur one another on, and do not forsake the assembling together. There is power when we come together. Continue to read with us every day, and as we do, we'll have read the entire New Testament together.